Do you know what destroys more dreams than failure? A careless word, a bad mood, an empty wallet, and an undisciplined mind. Pause for effect, then smile. Why live in a world where everyone wants control? Control over success, fame, and opportunity. But very few people master the one thing that truly matters: themselves. Your mouth is a tool more powerful than any weapon on earth. It can inspire, encourage, and heal, or it can destroy, discourage, and divide. Every word you speak plants a seed. Some seeds grow into trust, love, and opportunity. Others grow into resentment, doubt, and regret. The difference lies in how you choose to use your voice. Too many people speak before they think, and then spend years trying to fix what a few careless words broke. Think about it. Empires have fallen, relationships have ended, and careers have collapsed. All because of something that slipped out of someone's mouth in a moment of pride, anger, or ego. We live in an age where everyone wants to be heard. Social media gives everyone a microphone, and people speak without thinking, just to prove a point, to win an argument, or to get attention. But here's the truth: speaking louder doesn't make you wiser. Silence often carries more power than shouting. There's a reason the most successful people listen more than they talk. They observe before they express. They understand before they respond. The more you grow, the less you feel the need to explain yourself to everyone. The moment you master your mouth, you stop wasting words on meaningless noise and start using them to create impact. Words are energy. Once spoken, they can't be taken back. You might forget what you said, but someone else will remember it for a lifetime. A teacher's kind words can spark a student's confidence for years, while a harsh comment from a parent or friend can leave scars that never fully heal. That's how much weight your words carry. Every time you open your mouth, you have a choice to build or to break, to inspire or to insult, to heal or to harm. The people who speak with kindness and wisdom don't just sound good. They lead better, live better, and earn the respect of others effortlessly. Controlling your mouth doesn't mean staying silent forever. It means learning when to speak and how to speak. There's a difference between honesty and rudeness, between truth and cruelty. People often use "I'm just being honest" as an excuse to hurt others with their words. But real honesty is delivered with empathy, not arrogance. It's not about proving you're right. It's about communicating in a way that makes others want to listen. Your words should add value, not venom. Before you speak, pause for a second and ask yourself 3 questions. Is it true? Is it kind? Is it necessary? If your words fail any of those tests, silence is the better choice. Every great leader, every respected professional, and every wise person you admire has mastered the art of communication. They know that timing, tone, and tact matter as much as the message itself. It's not just what you say, it's how you say it. A calm voice can diffuse anger. A gentle word can change someone's entire day. If you learn to speak with grace under pressure, people will not only listen to you, they'll trust you. The ability to control your mouth is not weakness, it's strength under control. It's discipline in action. It shows that you value peace more than pride and respect more than reaction. Think of the times you've said something you didn't mean in anger. Maybe you apologized later, but the damage had already been done. Words are like arrows. Once released, they can't be taken back. That's why wise people count their words as carefully as they count their money. They invest them where it matters, in encouragement, in gratitude, in truth. They don't waste them on gossip, negativity, or meaningless debates. The more disciplined you are with your mouth, the more influence you gain. People start to notice your calm, your control, your clarity. They see someone who doesn't speak to impress, but to express. Someone whose words carry weight because they come from wisdom, not impulse. The world doesn't need more loud voices, it needs more thoughtful ones. Every argument, every misunderstanding, every broken bond can be traced back to words that weren't managed well. But when you control your mouth, you control outcomes. You create space for peace, understanding, and growth. You attract better people and better opportunities because your communication reflects emotional maturity. Remember this: your words are your identity. They represent your thinking, your discipline, and your respect for others. Speak like someone who knows the value of silence, and people will hang on to every word you say. Your mood is like the weather inside you. When it's calm and bright, everything around you feels possible. But when it storms, even simple things become difficult. The truth is, no matter how intelligent, talented, or experienced you are, if you can't control your mood, you will always be a slave to your emotions. One bad day can make you ruin a good week. One angry outburst can undo years of trust. One careless reaction can cost you an opportunity that may never return. People think losing control for a moment is natural, but in life, that single moment can define how others remember you forever. Everyone faces stress. Everyone faces people who test their patience, situations that push their limits, and days when everything goes wrong. The difference between ordinary people and extraordinary ones is not in what they face. It's in how they face it. The weak react. The wise respond. When you react out of anger, fear, or frustration, you hand over control to others. You let them dictate your state of mind. But when you respond with calm, with reason, and with discipline, you keep your power. You show that you are not ruled by your emotions. Your emotions are ruled by you. That's true strength. Quiet, steady, and rare. Anger is expensive. It doesn't just destroy relationships. It destroys health, focus, and judgment. Think about it. When you're angry, you don't think clearly. Your decisions become emotional, not logical. You say things you don't mean, take actions you later regret, and lose opportunities you'll never get back. History is full of people who lost everything not because they weren't smart or capable, but because they couldn't control their temper. Anger can make even the most intelligent person look foolish. Calmness, on the other hand, gives you clarity. It allows you to see solutions where others only see problems. It allows you to lead when others are losing their heads. The secret is not to suppress your emotions, but to understand them. Every emotion is a signal. Anger tells you something feels unfair. Fear tells you something feels unsafe. Sadness tells you something feels lost. When you understand the message, you can deal with the cause instead of exploding at the symptom. Controlling your mood doesn't mean pretending to be happy all the time. It means choosing your state of mind no matter what happens. Life will test you again and again through delays, disappointments, criticism, and unfairness. But the one who learns to stay centered through all of it becomes unshakable. Remember, these storms don't last forever, but the damage they cause can. It's also important to realize how your mood affects others. Leaders, parents, teachers, managers, all have one thing in common. Their emotions ripple through everyone around them. A frustrated leader spreads anxiety. A calm leader spreads confidence. If you want to be respected, learn to control not just what you say, but how you feel when you say it. People may forget your words, but they will never forget how your energy made them feel. Your mood is contagious. Make sure it's worth catching. A controlled mood creates controlled environments. Chaos inside creates chaos outside. There's a saying, never make decisions when you're angry and never make promises when you're happy. Why? Because both states distort your judgment. When you're angry, you exaggerate problems. When you're overly happy, you underestimate consequences. Real maturity is being able to pause before reacting, to take a breath, to think, to wait until the storm inside you settles. That pause is power. It's not weakness to stay silent when provoked. It's wisdom. Anyone can shout. Anyone can fight. But not everyone can stay calm in chaos. The one who can wins more than arguments. They win peace. Learn to protect your peace like it's your greatest possession, because it is. When you lose your temper, you lose focus. When you lose focus, you lose direction. Controlling your mood doesn't mean controlling others. It means mastering yourself no matter what others do. People will criticize you, misunderstand you, even try to provoke you. Don't let their storms pull you under. Respond with logic, not emotion. You can't control what happens outside, but you can always control what happens within. That's where your real power lies. In the end, emotional control isn't about being cold. It's about being composed. It's about handling life with grace instead of rage. It's about choosing peace over pride and patience over impulse. Your mood can be your greatest enemy or your greatest ally, depending on how you train it. Don't let a few moments of anger cost you years of progress. Calmness is not a personality trait. It's a skill you can practice, a mindset you can build. Every time you stay calm when you could have exploded, you grow stronger, wiser, and freer. The more you learn to control your mood, the less power the world has over you. You stop being a puppet of circumstances and start being the master of your emotions. You begin to move with purpose, not reaction. You begin to influence people not through force, but through example. That's real control. Not over others, but over yourself. Because when you can stay calm in the middle of chaos, you've already won. Money is one of the greatest tests of character. It reveals who you are more clearly than words ever could. When you have little, money tests your patience. When you have a lot, it tests your priorities. Many people think money changes them, but the truth is, money simply exposes them. It shows whether you are disciplined or careless, grateful or greedy, a builder or a spender. You see, everyone wants to earn more, but very few learn how to manage what they already have. The real challenge in life is not making money. It's keeping it, growing it, and using it wisely. The way you handle money reflects your mindset. If you spend to impress, you'll always stay broke. If you spend to progress, you'll eventually build wealth. Some people make good money, but live in constant anxiety because they never learn the art of control. They buy things they don't need with money they don't have to impress people who don't care. And then they wonder why peace never arrives. Remember this, financial freedom isn't about having more. It's about needing less. If you can't control your spending when you have a little, money will control you when you have a lot. Money doesn't respect emotion. It respects discipline. It doesn't care about your mood, your excuses, or your dreams. It responds only to your habits. That's why some people rise from nothing to success. Not because they're luckier, but because they're more consistent. They track their spending. They plan their future. They think before they buy. They let their money work for them, instead of working all their lives for money. Others, however, chase short-term pleasure, new clothes, fancy gadgets, luxury meals, and then wonder why they can't sleep peacefully at night. It's not about being stingy, it's about being smart. Every dollar you waste is a seed you could have planted for your freedom. Controlling your money starts with understanding its purpose. Money is not evil, it's a tool. It amplifies who you are. If you're kind, you'll use it to uplift others. If you're careless, you'll use it to show off. The problem isn't money, it's mindset. Too many people see money as a symbol of success instead of a resource for stability. They chase it endlessly and still feel empty when they get it, because they never learned the deeper truth: money can buy comfort, but not contentment. The ones who live well are not always the ones who earn the most, they're the ones who manage the best. Saving isn't about greed, it's about gratitude. It means you respect what you earn and prepare for what's ahead. There will always be emergencies, downturns, or days when life surprises you. But a disciplined person is never shaken. When you control your money, you gain freedom. You can make choices based on values, not desperation. You can say no to what doesn't serve you. But when you let money control you, you become a prisoner of your own desires. You begin to measure your worth in numbers, your happiness in possessions, and your dreams in price tags. That's not success, that's slavery in disguise. The world teaches us to look rich instead of being rich. People take loans for parties, buy cars to impress neighbors, and waste years chasing the illusion of status. But real wealth whispers, it doesn't shout. The truly wealthy don't prove themselves, they prepare themselves. They build assets, not just images. They invest in knowledge, skills, and growth, because they understand that wealth is not what you show, it's what you secure. Controlling your money isn't about how much you make, it's about how much you master. You can earn millions and still be broke if you lack self-control. But you can earn modestly and still live abundantly if you have discipline. When you learn to control your money, you also learn to control your emotions, because money and mood are deeply connected. Many people spend to escape boredom, to cure sadness, or to fill emptiness. But no purchase can fix an inner void. If you don't learn emotional discipline, your wallet will pay for your wounds. Instead of spending impulsively, spend intentionally. Every time you buy something, ask yourself, does this bring value or vanity? Does it add to my growth or just to my clutter? The difference between a spender and a builder is not income, it's awareness. Think of money as a mirror. It reflects your habits, your patience, your ability to delay gratification. Can you say no to the temporary so you can say yes to the long term? That's the real test. Success isn't about how fast you earn. It's about how long you can sustain. Many people rise quickly, but fall just as fast because they never built financial wisdom along the way. The disciplined ones rise slowly, but they stay there because their foundation is strong. They don't let greed guide them. They let goals guide them. They don't spend to escape reality. They invest to build a better one. Ultimately, money doesn't buy peace. Management does. It's not the size of your income, but the strength of your mindset that decides your future. If you respect money, it will respect you back. If you control your money, it will give you options, time and freedom. But if you let money control you, it will take all three away. Remember, it's not about living cheaply, it's about living consciously. Earn wisely, spend wisely, save wisely. And when you reach a point where money no longer rules your mood, your status, or your self-worth, that's when you've truly mastered control. Your mind is the architect of your life. Every decision, every emotion, every action begins as a thought. Whatever you feed your mind eventually becomes your reality. If your mind is full of fear, you will live cautiously. If it's full of hope, you will live courageously. If it's full of doubt, you will hesitate. But if it's full of faith, you will act. Everything starts within you. Your victories, your failures, your growth, your peace. The people who achieve greatness don't have perfect circumstances. They have disciplined minds. They control what they allow to enter, grow, and stay in their thoughts. Most people underestimate how powerful the mind truly is. They guard their phones with passwords, their homes with locks, and their money with banks. But they leave their minds open to negativity. They consume gossip, fear, and criticism, and then wonder why they feel anxious or stuck. Your mind is like a garden. If you don't plant the right seeds, weeds will grow by themselves. You can't control every event in your life, but you can control how your mind interprets it. When something bad happens, you can see it as a failure or as feedback. That single difference in perception changes everything. Life doesn't punish you. Your thoughts do. To control your mind, you must first become aware of it. Notice how often your thoughts run on autopilot. You wake up thinking about problems. You scroll through bad news. You replay mistakes. And by noon, your mind is exhausted before your day even begins. The mind has a simple rule. Whatever you focus on expands. Focus on fear, and fear grows. Focus on gratitude, and gratitude multiplies. That's why successful people are deliberate about what they think. They train their minds the way athletes train their bodies, with discipline, repetition, and consistency. They know that mindset is not something you're born with, it's something you build. Controlling your mind also means learning how to quiet it. In a world full of noise, silence is your superpower. Most people can't stand being alone because they can't stand being with their own thoughts. They look for distractions, music, social media, entertainment, anything to avoid hearing what their mind is saying. But peace doesn't come from escaping your mind, it comes from mastering it. Spend time in reflection, meditate, write down your thoughts, observe them without judgment. The more you understand your inner world, the easier it becomes to control your outer one. Because when the mind is calm, everything else falls into place. Another crucial part of controlling your mind is filtering what you let in. Every conversation, every book, every video you watch, every person you follow online, all of it shapes your thinking. If you constantly surround yourself with negativity, your thoughts will mirror that energy. But if you feed your mind with learning, inspiration, and purpose, it will grow stronger and sharper. Be careful who has access to your mind. Some people plant doubt, others plant direction. Some feed your fears, others fuel your faith. Protect your mental space the way you'd protect your home. Not everyone deserves entry. The mind also has a habit of replaying pain. It holds on to insults, losses, and failures, keeping you emotionally stuck in the past. But you cannot move forward if you're chained to what happened yesterday. Control your mind by teaching it to let go. Learn from the pain, but don't live in it. Forgive others, not because they deserve it, but because you deserve peace. The moment you release what's behind you, your mind becomes free to focus on what's ahead. People with controlled minds don't dwell, they decide. They decide to focus on progress, not pity, on growth, not grief. There's a saying, Your mind is a servant, not a master. But if you don't train it, it will run wild and rule over you. It will create worries that don't exist and fears that don't matter. Controlling your mind doesn't mean forcing positive thoughts all the time. It means being aware enough to stop negative ones before they take over. It means telling yourself, I'm in charge of my focus. You can't stop birds from flying over your head, but you can stop them from building a nest there. In the same way, you can't stop negative thoughts from appearing, but you can refuse to entertain them. Every great achievement began as a thought. Every great failure began as doubt. The quality of your life depends on the quality of your thoughts. People with weak minds let circumstances dictate their moods. People with strong minds dictate how they respond to circumstances. It's not luck that separates them, it's discipline. When you learn to manage your mind, you gain control over your emotions, your focus, and ultimately, your destiny. Because life will always give you reasons to be angry, worried, or afraid. But your mind decides which ones deserve your attention. Control your mind, and you control your life. The person who can stay calm while others panic, who can stay positive while others complain, who can stay focused while others drift, that person is unstoppable. The greatest battle you'll ever fight is not with the world outside, but with the thoughts inside. Master that battlefield, and nothing external can defeat you. Because when your mind becomes your ally, your success becomes inevitable. Show me your friends, and I'll show you your future. The people around you are not just part of your environment, they shape your environment. Whether you realize it or not, you absorb the energy, habits, and mindsets of the people you spend time with. If you walk with dreamers, you'll start thinking in possibilities. But if you walk with doubters, you'll start seeing only obstacles. Human energy is contagious. You can't expect to stay positive when you constantly surround yourself with negativity. You can't expect to grow when everyone around you is comfortable staying the same. The truth is simple: your company determines your direction. Every conversation leaves an imprint. Spend an hour with someone who complains about everything, and you'll find yourself irritated for no reason. But spend an hour with someone who talks about goals, ideas, and growth, and suddenly you'll feel motivated again. That's not coincidence, that's energy transfer. Our moods, attitudes, and outlooks mirror the people we interact with most. That's why it's crucial to control your company, not out of arrogance, but out of awareness. Who you keep close affects who you become. You can't plant yourself in toxic soil and expect to grow strong roots. The people you associate with either drain your energy or drive your progress. There are only two kinds of company in life: anchors and engines. And anchors hold you down with gossip, negativity, and fear. Engines lift you up with encouragement, honesty, and vision. The problem is anchors often disguise themselves as friends. They'll say things like, "I'm just being realistic," or "You're dreaming too big." But what they're really saying is, "Stay where I am." You must have the courage to distance yourself from anyone who keeps you from evolving, even if they mean well. Growth requires pruning. You can't rise if you're always surrounded by people who fear heights. Control your company by choosing people who challenge you, not just cheer for you. You don't need a crowd, you need a circle. A small circle of people who believe in your vision, who push you to do better, who hold you accountable when you slack off. The right people don't compete with you, they complete your environment. They celebrate your wins without envy and correct your mistakes without judgment. They talk about solutions, not excuses. And when you fall, they remind you of who you are, not what you've lost. One loyal, minded friend is worth more than 1,000 casual acquaintances. Sometimes, controlling your company means spending more time alone. Solitude is not loneliness, it's preparation. When you spend time with yourself, you learn to listen to your own voice instead of everyone else's noise. You begin to discover what you truly value, what you want to achieve, and what kind of people deserve access to your energy. People often fear being alone, but being surrounded by the wrong crowd is far lonelier. The wrong company can make you doubt your worth, distract your focus, and dilute your dreams. Protect your peace by learning to walk away gracefully. Remember, you're not obligated to stay where you no longer grow. Be intentional about your energy exchanges. Every relationship should have balance. Give and take, teach and learn, uplift and be uplifted. If you're always the one giving, you'll eventually feel drained. If you're always the one taking, you'll become dependent. Healthy company creates harmony. You learn, you grow, you evolve together. It's not about perfection, it's about alignment. If your vision is to fly high, surround yourself with people who have wings, not weights. You can't expect elevation when your circle prefers comfort over challenge. Success becomes easier when everyone around you is chasing growth too. Look at the most successful, peaceful, and fulfilled people. They're selective about their inner circle. Not because they think they're better than others, but because they know the cost of misplaced energy. They choose friends with integrity, mentors with experience, and peers with ambition. They understand that you can't reach your next level while clinging to people who are committed to the old you. Controlling your company isn't about cutting people off harshly, it's about managing access wisely. Some people belong in your heart, but not in your circle. You can love them from a distance while protecting your direction. The influence of company goes beyond behavior. It affects belief. If you spend time with people who constantly say, it's impossible, your mind will start to believe them. But if you surround yourself with people who ask, how can we make it possible? Your imagination expands. Energy shapes effort. Motivation thrives in an environment of encouragement. Your circle can either light your fire or extinguish it. That's why choosing your company is one of the most important life decisions you'll ever make. It's a daily investment in your mindset, your motivation, and your momentum. Never forget, your network is not just your net worth, it's your next worth. Every connection you build today shapes who you'll become tomorrow. So protect your environment like it's your most valuable asset. Be around people who talk about vision, not victims. People who see potential, not problems. People who clap when you win and coach you when you lose. Because in the end, energy doesn't lie. The more you surround yourself with purpose-driven people, the more purpose will naturally grow within you. Control your company, and you'll control your climate, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. The energy you allow around you becomes the energy that defines you. Choose wisely, because who you walk with determines how far you'll go. A person without direction is like a ship without a compass, always moving, but never arriving. The waves of life will toss you from one opportunity to another, from one distraction to the next, until you're exhausted from chasing everything but achieving nothing. In today's world, it's easy to be busy. Everyone is doing something. But being busy is not the same as being purposeful. The difference between movement and progress is direction. If you don't take control of where you're going, the world will decide it for you. And you might end up somewhere you never wanted to be. Every day, life offers you hundreds of paths. There are distractions disguised as opportunities, noise disguised as advice, and comfort disguised as happiness. Without clear direction, you'll keep switching lanes, hoping one will lead you to fulfillment. But fulfillment doesn't come from trying everything. It comes from committing to something. Success isn't built by those who do many things for a short time. It's built by those who do one thing with focus and persistence. Controlling your direction means knowing what you want, why you want it, and what you're willing to sacrifice for it. The truth is, most people don't fail because they aim too high. They fail because they never aim at all. They drift through life reacting to whatever comes their way, waiting for luck, waiting for signs, waiting for someone else to decide their path. But clarity doesn't come from waiting, it comes from deciding. The moment you choose a direction, everything changes. Your energy becomes organized. Your decisions become simpler. Your mind stops wandering. And suddenly, you start to move with intention instead of confusion. Direction turns ordinary effort into meaningful progress. Controlling your direction begins with a question. What do I truly want out of life? Not what others expect from you. Not what looks good on paper, but what genuinely matters to you. Too many people chase goals that aren't even theirs. They study what their parents wanted, work where society approves, and live for likes instead of purpose. But when you chase everything that pleases others, you lose yourself. Direction is not about following trends, it's about following truth. It's about listening to your inner voice that says, this is what I'm built for. Once you discover that no comparison, no criticism, and no confusion can shake your path. However, knowing your direction is only half the battle. The real challenge is staying on it when life tests you, because it will. There will be detours, delays, and doubts. Sometimes the road will be lonely. Sometimes you'll question yourself. That's when most people give up, not because they can't reach their destination, but because they lose sight of it. You must remind yourself daily why you started. Revisit your goals, renew your focus, and realign your steps. Success isn't about speed, it's about staying steady. The one who keeps walking with direction, even when tired, always outruns the one who keeps changing paths. Control also means learning to say no. Every yes without purpose is a step away from your destination. People will invite you to their distractions, gossip, drama, meaningless competition, endless scrolling. If you don't have direction, you'll say yes to everything because you don't know what deserves your no. But when your goals are clear, your priorities become simple. You start valuing your time, your peace, and your energy. You stop trying to please everyone and start protecting what matters. The ability to say no is not arrogance. It's awareness. It's knowing that every minute spent in the wrong place is stolen from the right one. Direction also gives you identity. When you know where you're going, you stop comparing your journey to others. You understand that everyone's road looks different because everyone's purpose is different. Some people succeed early, some later. Some walk straight paths, others take curves, and that's okay. The only race that matters is the one you run with yourself. Comparison kills clarity. You can't drive forward while staring at someone else's lane. Control your direction, focus on your progress, and let others focus on theirs. The most confident people aren't those who have everything figured out. They're the ones who know where they're heading, even if they haven't arrived yet. Sometimes life will force you to pause, to rethink, to redirect, and that's fine. Control doesn't mean rigidity. It means awareness. If a path no longer aligns with your growth, have the courage to change it consciously, not impulsively. There's a difference between giving up and moving on. One comes from fear, the other comes from wisdom. As long as you know why you're changing directions, you're still in control. The danger lies not in changing paths, but in wandering without purpose. Remember, direction gives meaning to effort. Without it, even hard work feels empty. But with it, every small step becomes progress, every failure becomes feedback, every delay becomes preparation. People with direction don't rush. They trust the process. They understand that every great destination takes time, patience, and faith. They don't chase everything. They choose wisely. And that choice makes all the difference. So take control of your direction before life pulls you in 100 different ways. Define your purpose, align your energy, and walk your path with intention. Because in the end, it's not about how far you go. It's about whether you went in the right direction. A fast life means nothing if it's headed nowhere. But a focused life, even with slow steps, always reaches somewhere meaningful. We live in a world that teaches us how to earn, compete, and perform, but rarely how to control ourselves. Yet, self-control is where true power begins. When you learn to control your mouth, you protect your relationships. When you control your mood, you protect your peace. When you control your money, you protect your future. When you control your mind, you protect your potential. When you control your company, you protect your energy. And when you control your direction, you protect your destiny. A pause. Look around the audience. The greatest victories in life are not won on battlefields or in boardrooms. They're won within. The moment you master yourself, no challenge can defeat you, no failure can define you, and no opinion can destroy you. The real success story begins not when the world changes, but when you do. Pause again, softer tone. Then so, before you chase the next dream, the next deal, or the next destination, pause, breathe, and remember, the most powerful person in any room is not the one who controls others, but the one who controls themselves. Control your mouth, control your mood, control your money, control your mind, control your company, and control your direction. A slight smile, because once you do that, you won't just live successfully. You'll live powerfully, peacefully, and purposefully.